So welcome everybody to the Thursday call from Live Well with Air, which is normally my slot talking about mindfulness and breathing and all sorts of topics like that. And this week we thought we would do a bit of an end of term report on Live Well with Air, because today is the last day of the current schedule before we take a break in August. And so I invited Pam along, who is another member of the Live Well in Air gang. And so we thought we would discuss how we've been getting on for the last 3 months and give you a bit of a summary.
Thanks, Olive, and hi, everybody. Olive, how on earth did we get into Live Well with Air? How did it all start? Just remind me.
Well, I'm not even sure I know. It was one of those things where the shutters came down, all our events and fundraising that we were planning for this year, we had a whole schedule with Active in Redbourne, were cancelled. The sports centre and all of the sports clubs closed down. And so with no previous experience of this, we just said, well, what can we do? We can't do what we're planning to do, so what can we do? We have this mission in Active in Redbourne that we should be the healthiest village in Hertfordshire. And so we can't just do nothing. So what is it we were going to do? And I don't even know who came up with the idea, to be honest. I think we had lots of ideas bouncing around the place, and Live Well with Air suddenly stuck. And like everything else, we didn't know how long we'd be doing it for, and we didn't know who the audience was, and we didn't know who was going to deliver it. But there you go.
And there were quite a few activities, or there have been quite a few activities that have taken place under that banner, haven't there? So the people watching this are probably most familiar with the online side of things, but there have been other things as well.
Yeah, we've been doing well. I was amazed because if you look around the population of Redbourne, you know, you've got people who are working from home, you've got people who are furloughed, you've got people who are shielding, people who have been turned out of work, and other people who've turned into homeschoolers. And so we looked around and went, you know, have we got some practitioners who can help us in this? And we started with the practitioners who had been working in the sports centre, who had been deleted from the sports centre as the sports centre was closed. And so we started with them and said, do you want to run something for the community, just a short session, so that people aren't doing nothing? And that was sort of where we started. But by goodness, it has grown.
It's been fantastic, hasn't it? I mean, you know, the online side of things has taken off in a way that we probably none of us could have imagined, particularly given the fact that there's a lot of online provision from all over the place at the moment, or there has been during the lockdown. So it's been fantastic, and there's been a couple of other activities as well. For example, the community call.
Yes, the community call. That was born out of something else that I'm not quite sure, and that started just before we started with Live Well with Air, which was the online. And that's been going, and that's a really interesting thing. So everybody's welcome to join the community call on a Wednesday morning, and that's really local. That has various local topics from sports groups who are talking about what they're doing during lockdown, and the vicar, he comes up with Thought for the Week every week, which are just amazing. And then we've had some of Redbourne players have been doing a bit, and we've had a few singers, and so they've been doing a great job as well. So we've concentrated on what we can do with the online, and we've done 12 weeks now, so that's why it's the end of term report, as it were. 12 weeks, we've delivered 77 classes online through Facebook, and they are now all on YouTube as well. We've had 24,000 views of those 77 classes, which if you work out the maths is something like 300 views per class. Now, because of the way Facebook counts, we don't know whether they're short views for a few seconds or whether people are doing the whole half an hour. But whatever, it's definitely created some useful resources, I think, for people in Redbourne. and the ones on YouTube are now organised in playlists. So if you look up, for example, Gemma, who did a lot, who was with us for the whole 12 weeks of doing supple strength on a Monday morning, then you can put in Gemma into YouTube under Active in Redbourne, and you'll find all of her classes, and they're all also organised in weeks. And we've done a mixture of all sorts of things for well-being. We've done physical, mental, emotional, social, intellectual, spiritual, I think all aspects that we could think of. And that, together with the community call, I just think has generated a huge amount of excitement in the community. And we were talking to somebody recently, I think it was on the community call last week, Annie Brewster, who is a local councillor. What is she? She's Hertfordshire County Council, isn't she?
Yeah.
And she was saying that she thinks that Redbourne has done an amazing job with what we're doing with this, what the care group has done, you know, what all the organisations. She said, I think Redbourne is leading the way. So hat on the back.
Oh gosh, that's a brilliant accolade, actually. Absolutely fantastic to hear that. I think, you know, what is so lovely is that, you know, the major part of the provision has been from people in the village as well. So we have drawn on local talent, which has been fantastic. All of whom have given their time for free, of course. So run us through what's actually happened.
So I'll give you a bit of a summary. What we've tried to offer something for everybody. We've tried to offer it by Redbourne people for Redbourne people, as you said, Pam. We haven't always been able to stick to that because some people live a little bit further out, like Mark Yates, but we have tried really hard. I really would recommend that you drop in and look at some of the older ones during the summer. They're all there. They're on Facebook. They're also on YouTube, as I was saying earlier. They're all for free, and you can drop in and do a 5-minute snippet, or you can stay for the whole 30 minutes. Either way, you might be delighted by what you find out, and we would love to hear from you. So do leave your comments on YouTube or on Facebook. And if I just go through the list, this is just a really impressive list. And when I look back on 12 weeks, I'm just absolutely stunned at the band of talented practitioners we've had. Sort of just starting with the most careful exercise, I suppose, was John Molyneux of Molly Fit, who does exercises from the comfort of your armchair. And I thought they were absolutely great. If you've had an accident of any sort or you're not very mobile, they're the place to start. Then there's Nicola Jackson, who's been doing yin yoga, which is very gentle and very powerful yoga. So that one's been great. Lucy Hurley is was doing yoga classes all the way through, I think for 11 weeks. Oh, Lucy also did quite a few that were related to particular physical or mental improvements that were great. Gemma, who does a lovely Monday morning class to set you up for the week, called Supple Strength, which just gets you moving for the week after what you've done at the weekend. Sarah Parr, who is a spinal expert and lives in the village, and she's done a Pilates class, and she's a real expert in lower back pain and so much more. And of course, those four are also now starting to run either Zoom classes, which I'll come on to in a minute, or they're going to be starting to run them in the local facilities, one-to-one or in groups. We had Rachel Mackey preparing for running. That was great. And the last one of hers was getting her son to show you how to prepare for running if you're a kid, which was fab.
That was super, yeah.
Yeah. Simon Barnes from the Hub has been talking about safe cycling. There's so many tips in safe cycling about looking after your bike, about looking after yourself, wearing helmets, all those sort of things. Sam Needham-Weiss from Dance Together, who also is another Redbourner, she's got a fun class, and she's been teaching people how to do the cha-cha in just a few weeks. And so in 4 weeks, you can go back to those classes and get all the steps along the way of being able to be reasonably good at the cha-cha. Katie Ryman came on and did a singing class. Now that was just amazing. Unfortunately, she had lots of things going on and changes, I mean, the whole thing about these classes has been flexibility, because we've never quite known what's going to happen from week to week. And and Katie we lost because she had to go and do something else. I think it was to do with school. And but what I would also recommend is people could go back onto her first class. You can practice that time and time again. And by the way, I'll put a plug in there that we really would like to find another singer who is prepared to run classes online.
Yeah, because they were very popular, weren't they?
That was amazing. We had something like over 1,000 views of her page, and she only did one class. Yeah. Sammy Cooper's done a great job on nutrition and told us loads and loads of stuff. I think Sammy's managed to get the most amount of questions for her topic, because it's all about learning about nutrition and as it relates to particular things. And the last one she did was for nutrition for the over 60s. And so that was really worth listening to. And Catherine Horsman filled up in a week for when Sammy wasn't available. And she's also done a bit of life coaching for nutrition. So that adds up to 77 classes in 12 weeks. Sorry, I forgot my own classes.
I was just about to give you a little prompt there.
My own classes were all sorts of different aspects of well-being. And when I looked at what I did, we did breathing, grounding, mindfulness. We looked at the immune system, vitamins and minerals that I got Dr. Mike Cannell along to join me for, reducing anxiety, visualization, laughter yoga. We had a lady come along who does laughter yoga that was just hilarious. If you ever want a good laugh, go back to the laughter yoga session if you're feeling a bit down. Improving sleep, recovering your energy, starting to run at over 70 that I did with Chris Emmel. And the joy of reading, which I did with Simon Vegro, was the last one. That was those two have been great fun. I've been particularly pleased about the overlap we've managed to get, but without we didn't have a big goal at the beginning, but where the overlap has come is especially with some things like your immune system and COVID-19. And so we've had people talking about mindfulness and herbs and vitamins and yoga and breathing and grounding, which all relate to your immune system. And it's so important during COVID-19 to be looking after your immune system. So I've been particularly pleased about those, that we've managed this overlap and without treading on each other's feet.
It's just the most amazing program, and now a great library for people to dip into via YouTube. It's a huge resource for the community, and indeed wider if other people want to dip into it as well. And I'm sure you would join with me in saying how grateful we are to all those providers. They have given their time for free, and they've been very amazing in what they've done, and it's just been amazing to see them doing their stuff every week. So hats off to all of them. Thanks
exactly
very much.
And once we got them organized and they knew what they were doing on Facebook, they were completely self-motivated. I didn't have to do anything. All I had to do was to download their videos so that we keep a copy on YouTube.
Yeah. So brilliant. And what about what it's achieved, Olive? What do you think it's brought?
It's difficult to exactly tell. Some things are obvious. We've got better visibility for some of the practitioners in the village. That's certainly true. We've helped them get to grips with technology, some of them, including which is your right and which is your left foot on Facebook. Because on Facebook you get a mirror image. And so we've had a few of them go right leg and then looked at the video and gone, that's your left leg.
Not terribly helpful if you're trying to learn the cha-cha-cha.
Exactly. We've got many questions that have been thrown in on the message boxes, and we've had plaudits and thanks for what we were doing. We would love more comments. I think that's the big question here. We would love more comments and likes. Because that also, the way Facebook works, if you get more comments and you get more likes, they get shown to more people. So it's really useful, apart from being feedback to us. And I think what I can see is that listeners have got a sort of option to create a set of things that work for them, so they've got a personalized wellness routine, like every day or once a week or twice a week or whatever it is. And so I think that's a really valuable thing. I mean, I can imagine people doing, you know, for example, like you do a Pilates, a supple strength on Monday, you do something else on Tuesday, you do a bit of wellness, well-being, reducing anxiety, a bit of visualization. So you can put together a jigsaw puzzle of what actually works for you, which I think would be absolutely great, because wellness isn't about one size fits all. It's about what works for you, and at different stages what works for you. And as you get more fit and more active, then it will change.
Absolutely. So there's going to be a little break now for the month of August. It's a bit like school's out for August, and I think that in particular will give you a break, because you've done masses to help all the presenters and with all the IT, Olive. So a well-deserved holiday for you. But there's more in store, I believe.
Well, yes. Firstly, we would love everybody's feedback, please. I think flexibility is the name of the game. As I said earlier, we never quite know what's happening from week to week. We would like to restart in September, and we would like to do more of a well-being focus, because the sports centres are probably reopening for the physical exercise. We don't actually know that yet, but by September we might know that. And so we may well be focusing on more personal development, things like healthy aging, goal setting, learning new skills, something like that. And then I actually fancy a wider range of like hobbies, such as I made a note of gardening, a selection of crafts, singing. Oh, I desperately want a new singing teacher. I mean, she taught me so much in 30 minutes. I would like another one, please, if anybody's volunteering. I was thinking about ancestry. There's a lot of people really interested in ancestry, and flower arranging. So lots of topics like that we could be adding in, whereas the sports centres do more of the physical exercise, but we will have to see how that goes. We are looking for volunteers who are interested in delivering the topics. You can deliver anything between 1 and 4 sessions. You can deliver it as one person on their own, but we now know how to deliver it as 2 people, as you can see on the screen with Pam and I. I now do all mine as recordings, so that it makes it less stressful on a Thursday morning. And then on Thursday morning, I get it to go live on Facebook, and I'm sitting at my computer watching it. And so if people's got questions, I can answer them rather than trying to present at the same time as I'm answering questions. I would really prefer it is Redbourne, to get as many Redbourne people for supporting Redbourne people, but it's not essential. And what I'd also like to know is what different age groups would like, because, you know, and we've got Saturdays and Sundays when the kids are home, and would they be interested in different topics, and what could we supply there? So we are being very flexible. We would like your feedback. Ivan's just posted on most of the Redbourne sites a message that says we would like your feedback, just to remind everybody. And don't feel worried about commenting on ones that have been quite old, because the presenters mainly are picking those up, and we'll be checking on them. Well, there is one thing I would like to say, is that Live Well with Air has done Facebook transmission either as live streaming, which means somebody's presenting it like Pam and I are here, and it's also live streaming into Facebook, or alternatively just going live on Facebook. So that's what we've been doing, and a lot of people have asked us whether we can do Zoom classes, and I feel very strongly that we should. There's a plus and a minus here. The plus is that certainly for the physical people, the yoga and the Pilates, they always want to be seeing what the person's doing in front of them. But most of them are now running their own paid for classes. And so I respect that. and go, I'm not wanting to infringe on that. So if they're doing their paid for classes where they can see the audience, they will be doing those on something like Zoom, whereas our classes are an introduction to what you can do with Pilates, yoga, or whatever else. And so that's the way I see it going. And I stress that because a lot of people have asked us about that one. It's a really different experience when you go on something like a Zoom class where you've got the instructor can say to you, no, that's, you've got your arm around the wrong way, or you're using the wrong leg, or whatever it is. And so, but ours will stay a free platform for individuals to just try things out. And that's where I see it as being.
Great. Well, that's a lovely roundup. Thank you very much for that. And actually, we ought to say thank you to everybody who's participated, taken part, given us comments, volunteered. Been absolutely brilliant, and we can't wait to do more. I mean, AIR is all about community involvement, isn't it? And I think this has been a great example of that, but more people could get involved, and we'd love to have more people involved. So keep coming forward, volunteering, giving us your comments, etc.
And also, Ivan's been sending out a message about increasing the size of the group who are running AIR. Because again, we always need more people, and the great thing is if we have more people we can come up with more ideas. And as I say, we're there's other people in the county that are looking at us as being leaders, which we never expected to be doing, but it's great plaudit, and so I'll take that one.
Definitely. What a great village we have, and what great people in it. Fantastic.
Thank you ever so much, and don't forget, put your comments down below. And the last class is this afternoon with Nicola doing her yin yoga class. So, and then we will be off until the beginning of September, but we'll let you know through the Active in Redbourne Facebook page. Thank you all so much, and have a lovely summer.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.